Chucky the Killer Doll returns for a third time. Here's my review of Child's Play 3. Hey guys, how are you? Child's Play 3 was released in 1991, just 1 year after Child's Play 2, which came out in 1990. In fact, Child's Play 3 actually went into production before Child's Play 2 even hit the cinemas. Child's Play 3 is once again written by Don Mancini, and this time directed by Jack Bender. Andy Barclay, the kid from the first two movies who was originally played by Alex Vincent, is now portrayed by Justin Whalin. The reason for this is this movie, even though it was only made a year after the second movie, is set years in the future. So Andy is now slightly more grown up, in his mid to late teens, and is now attending a military school. We get a nice mix of characters with the military school setting. We get Shelton, who's a complete douche, played by Travis Fiennes. The Sylvers, who's played by Perrey Reeves. Whitehurst, played by Dean Jacobson. And a couple of guys that were in a lot of 80s and 90s movies. We've got Dakin Matthews, who plays Colonel Cochrane. And Andrew Robinson, who was absolutely brilliant in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where he played a character called Garrick. Here he's playing Sergeant Botnick, who is a barber in the military school who literally just wants to shave everybody's head and has a real hair fetish. And finally Tyler, who's played by Jeremy Sylvers, and he gets quite a lot of attention in this movie, mainly because he's asked by one of his superiors to deliver a package to Andy Barclay. This package, for one reason or another, gets opened and he finds a good guy doll in it, which happens to be Chucky. He's been resurrected once again, and it's not fully explained how, but essentially the company behind the good guys has decided to start remanufacturing and selling the dolls again. So it's like tinkering with the original storyline, because Chucky has now been resurrected and he now tells Tyler his secret. He can now transfer his soul into Tyler's body. So Chucky's aim through this movie is to get his soul into Tyler's body whilst getting revenge on Andy. The movie plays out nicely. It's competently directed by Jack Bender. It doesn't have the wow factor of the first movie, or indeed the second, to be fair. But Don Mancini really has grown to know the characters of Chucky and Andy, and this really comes through in the script. The script is pretty mediocre, but makes the best of the story that they have. The primary setting in the movie is in the military school, but later in the movie we do move into a forest location where the students are doing war games. Chucky, as one of his kills, attempts to swap the ammunition from paint pellets to real-life ammunition. How he would do that, I don't know. I didn't think that was even possible, but there you go. And then the finale is held in a fun fair. The fun fair is in the middle of nowhere, quite close to where they're doing the war games. In terms of Chucky's kills, you can see that they are trying to make these a little bit more inventive as the film progresses. There's one particularly good one early on in the movie where Chucky puts somebody in a dump truck where they're emptying bins into and crushes him to death. And there's another one later on where Chucky's trying to kill Colonel Cochrane, but before he actually gets a chance to wipe him out, the guy has a heart attack and kills himself, where Chucky isn't impressed at. In terms of performances, Justin Whalin does a pretty fair job here as Andy, moving him on a little bit in age and giving him a little bit more of an attitude that the kid would have developed over years of being told that he was a bit of a nutbar. Travis Fiennes does a shouty job as Shelton, who gets his comeuppance later in the movie, which is quite shocking actually when you see how he actually gets his comeuppance. Andrew Robinson is just funny as Botnick, and he actually gets a good send-off in his killing by Chucky. And Perrey Reeves is also okay as De Silva, who plays the obligatory love interest now and is a little bit older. As the movies progress, Chucky is of course getting more one-liners, and there's no exception here. He gets a few one-liners in here, although I don't think there was as many as was in the second movie, but that all changed with Bride of Chucky, which we'll be looking at next. The animatronics were just as good as they were in the second movie. In fact, the animatronics weren't really much improved because it was literally made the year after Child's Play 2. The finale of the movie is pretty good, although it is very reminiscent of Child's Play 2. And the way Chucky's finally offed at the end of the movie, he is obliterated in a massive fan. It makes you wonder how he was going to be resurrected for the fourth movie in the series, because in theory there is no way of bringing him back from this, but we all know that at some point in the future they were going to. Child's Play 3 is a pretty good movie. It's not fantastic, it's not the strongest in the series. In fact, certainly the first and second films, in my opinion, are a lot stronger and better movies. I'm going to give Child's Play 3 overall a 3 out of 5. It's a pretty okay movie, but it is certainly better than some of the movies that were to come subsequently. Thanks very much for watching these guys. Please hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave a comment down below what you thought of Child's Play 3, which is your favourite in the series, and are you looking forward to Cult of Chucky that's coming this Halloween. I'll see you next month for my review of Bride of Chucky, the fourth in the series. Bye.